All right, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy first day of spring,
Mhm.
although it doesn't necessarily feel like it
Not really.
outside. But luckily, we do have quiet conditions in terms of no rain to talk about for today. This is a live look from one of our first alert sky cams from the Market Max in Monticello. Mostly clear skies out this direction, but there is still some clouds here in the metro. I think we'll start to see those move out later on this afternoon. We'll see more sunshine, but it's not really going to help us by much. Right now, temperatures are currently sitting in the 40s, but look at that. We've got a wind coming out of the northwest at 17 miles an hour, so it's feeling more like 43. Temperatures will start to make their way into the low 60s this afternoon, but it's probably going to feel more like the 50s with the winds that could gust upwards of 30, maybe even 40 miles an hour at times. I think this graphic's a little bit lowballing it for the winds this afternoon. So definitely going to be a windy Thursday for this first day of spring.
And with the very windy conditions that we're actually going to be having today, thankfully it dies off a little bit into the day tomorrow. But with that northwesterly wind, it's going to be bringing us a very frigid look into the start of your day today. Some of us will be flirting with freezing or at that freezing mark. So again, we're expecting very frosty conditions, very frosty off into the north and to the east. To be honest, it's going to be cold into the start of your day. Thankfully, it won't stay that way for long. So that's the one little victory that we have.
Yes, it's definitely going to be more seasonal in the afternoon. Temperatures in the upper 60s. We'll make our way to the upper 70s on Saturday. Beautiful weather setting up for the St. Patrick's Day parade in downtown Jackson. So that is some good news if you're planning to attend that. We'll see plenty of sunshine. Most of Sunday is also going to be relatively quiet, although it's going to feel a little bit more muggy as we'll start to see a little bit more moisture coming in from the south. And this is also going to play a factor in the storms we're expecting Sunday night and maybe lingering into a Monday morning, and some of which could be on the stronger side, which is why we've issued a first alert weather day for Sunday. I think most of it's going to move in Sunday evening into Sunday night. It's going to be a line of storms, and the highest likelihood, or highest threats, I should say, are looking to be damaging winds and the potential for hail. Luckily, the tornado threat looks to be on the lower end.
Yeah, that's the little victory, but we can't just sweep it under the rug. Just in case, we want to make sure that you're aware that even though tornadoes might not be the main threat, it's still a threat. It's just on the lower end, especially in comparison to what we've been going through the past couple of weeks. So I want you to be aware that just because the tornado threat's not high doesn't mean that you should not pay attention, because we can easily see damage from the wind as well as some large hail. And even the potential flash flooding, with some areas seeing 1 to 2 inches of rainfall just within this system as well. So something that we should all be very mindful of going into Sunday night.
Yes. So here's how it's playing out right now. That, again, this is one of our long range models. We'll start to see our high resolution models come into play later on today, and especially tomorrow and Saturday, to give us a better picture of narrowing down the time frame, and of course talking a little bit more about the extent of the impacts. But models have been in pretty good agreement for Sunday night and into Monday morning for this system. It moves out through the middle of the morning commute, and then we stay relatively dry heading into the rest of your Monday. And it looks like the next chance for maybe a few showers comes by Wednesday of next week, but that's not necessarily our main focus, as we are going to be more so watching Sunday night and Monday. But again, things look to be relatively over with in terms of any kind of severe threat by the lunch hour on Monday. So
yeah, and the likelihood that we'll see a big drop in the temperatures is not really there, to be honest with you. We're talking about boundaries and cold fronts. Obviously, we can feel the impacts of one right now, but into next week, really not that much. We're actually going to be staying above average for this time of year. So we're going to be talking about big changes into next week, staying into the mid to upper 70s, low 80s expected across a good portion of central Mississippi. So that is something we should be mindful of, especially going into next week. Into the day tomorrow really looks to be the last day that we're even going to be below average. And to be honest with you, that's right at, if not above average. So again, I just want you to be mindful of that into the next couple of days, that we could easily see some some quieter conditions in next week, but also very warm into next week as well.
Yeah. So ahead of this system this weekend, we do have a severe weather special where we talk about storm prep, also looking back a little bit at the history of storms here in central and southwest Mississippi. So it's a special called Before the Storm that our weather team has put on, and that will be on tomorrow at 6:30. It's also a great tool to refresh talking about safety. And as we continue into severe weather season, it's just a good thing to watch and get a little bit more of a refresher on things like the safety before storms. So
yeah, another thing to look forward to into the day tomorrow. It's also going to be looking fantastic outside. So again, that's really all we have for you. It's a quieter look in the forecast. Thankfully so. We do have Sunday being that first alert weather day, but still we'll have more details once we really get into the day tomorrow and really into more of this weekend. That's for sure.
Yeah. So until then, have a great rest of your first day of spring.